Hey everybody, I thought that I would just make a video for one of our new kits that we have. This is the ornaments that we have a kit for now. So you can do these when you can just walk in and do these anytime. But now we are going to have a kit that you can take home that'll have everything in it. So this is, I actually like resined this on here so the whole board is shiny. So this is our display that we have up here that kind of gives you some ideas about what you can do with these ornaments. The last weekend when a lot of you were in, you saw some that I had, that one had a Christmas tree and one had a wreath around it, and a lot of you asked about if we had those. So I thought I'd get a kit ready so that you can take it home or you can do it here. So anyway, I'm going to show you, basically if you do it here, you have like a partial kit, and then some of the other stuff that we do, like the resin and stuff, we won't have in the pre-packaged thing. But I'm going to show you, if you get one of these pre-packaged to take home with you, it has, it'll just say that it has the ornament glass and resin kit on there. So it's $30 whether you do it in here or you take it home. And so let's see what we've got in here. So we have this that is in our resin, all of our resin kits. It's an A and a B, and this is the two parts that you mix together to make your resin. That's the last thing that you do. And we have our mixing cup, and then we have these little sauce cups, and those are actually going to be our little tables to put on, or put our ornaments on. Gloves, and these are vinyl gloves, just in case anybody's allergic to latex. These are vinyl gloves. And so I gave you two paintbrushes, just in case it might make it easier when you're switching colors around. So you are going to have a color strip in here, and you may have to rely on your, if you remember back in like grade school when you learned what colors mix together make what, if you want to make another color, you've got a lot of your primaries here. So if you want to make a snowman and you want the orange for his carrot nose, and you don't have orange, yellow and red make orange. Red and purple make red and blue make purple. And then you do have some white in there if you want to make any of your colors a little bit lighter, because the blue we have in here is almost like a royal blue, and mixing a little white in there would make it more of a little wintry blue. So there's paints, paint brushes. What else do we have in here? We have glue in here too, and a Q-tip to put the glue on. So you have this little kit in here. So if you're doing it in here and you're not taking it home, this is what you're going to get here. And all of them are the same as far as the glass that's in there, the glass colors. The only thing that's going to be random is these little wood pieces that you can put on, that you don't have to put on, but they are a little extra deal. And I'm going to open up my bag here. So the colors of glass that we give you are, there's clear glass in here with, I think it has, there's a little bit of gold glass in here too, and gold, like gold sequins. So kind of like a clear gold mix. And then the other one that we have is a blue silver mix. And so it's got lots of blue glass and some different colors of blue and teal. It's real pretty, kind of like snowish, you know, wintry kind of thing. And then you're going to have your 4 wooden ornaments here. So you're going to have these, and then you're going to have these little random little wood pieces. And so 2 of them will be snowflakes, and then 2 of them will be some kind of random Christmas thing. So this is a little stocking and a little Santa Claus. So what those are is, if you don't want to paint a design on here, but you want to have something, you know, some kind of design on there that you don't want to paint yourself, we're going to actually be able to glue those on if you want to. So I'll show you my little example here. So this kind of shows you where it's not even painted, it's just glued on there. I think I painted a Christmas tree, and then that is like an ornament. There's all different kinds of options that it can be, and two of them are, like I said, two of them are snowflakes, and then the other two are random. So I'm going to show you just really quickly how to paint one of them and how to put on your resin. So you're going to do all your painting first. So let's just do, I'm going to do one of the examples that I had out from another example that isn't on my board here, and it was where I actually did a Christmas tree. So what I'm doing is I'm doing just a white background and a little bit of brown on here to kind of give me just a little weathered look. And I'm going to try to do this really fast because I think you guys all can figure out how to do the painting part, but I want you to see how to do the other parts. Okay, so then what I did on one of them is I just had a little Christmas tree, and it does not have to be perfect at all, but just a really simple little, I just had a little Christmas tree in there. I did not close that. And then, so I've got my Christmas tree, kind of give it a top there, and then I have some brown for the bottom. Okay, so that's one of the examples that you can do. If you're not going to put one of those wood things on there, you can do something like this. If you're going to do the wood things, then again, you can do some other color. What I'm going to do very quickly is a blue, and like I said, it's very much like a royal blue, and I'm going to just paint that on there super fast. And if you have your own stuff and if you happen to have like some of these ornament things at home, this is not something that you have to do as one of our kits. A lot of you, if you're crafters, you have some random stuff around, and so you can easily do this same type of thing on a lot of different mediums. Okay, so here I have blue. You can paint, I'll paint the top of it like a light blue because I mixed it with some white. So let's say we wanted then just do this. I'm not going to paint this. You have this glue, clear glue, and your little Q-tip here and your clear glue. So I'm just going to paint on I'm just going to rub some of this on the back, that little decorator little piece of wood here, and I'm just going to slap it on there like that. Okay, not real hard, we've got it there. Okay, so you have 4 ornaments, and you can do whatever you want. I have this, I did that little Christmas tree. And so remember, your paintbrush can work, both ends of it can work. So you've got your paintbrush on one end, but then you have the end of the paintbrush, which is always super great for making little dots. It's super great for making little snow. So let's say, see, you have this one here, and you don't want to paint anything on there, but you certainly can do little dots on there. And it really adds, it just takes nothing, hardly, and you can just really add a little something super easy to that. Okay, there is our ornaments, and I'm going to totally break our rules that, like, you would want these to be dry when you do what we're going to do, but it doesn't really matter for me to do it this way. They just probably won't turn out, but it's okay. So you're going to have your ornaments, and you've got these little, I'll do it back here where you can see it a little bit. Just makes it kind of like a table, because our resin is, you want to make sure we cover our tables with paper. Make sure that you're doing your resin on something that can be thrown away, like paper bags or just, you know, newspaper, but it has to be like multiple sheets of newspaper because resin does soak through. So, all right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to prop up all of our ornaments, and let's see if I can do it enough here so you can see them. All right. So I've got my gold mix here. Let's see if I can open my own packaging. So honestly, what I would recommend is that you maybe dump out some of your bigger pieces here. So I can't really see them, but there's some bigger glass pieces in here, and so I dump them out so that I can place these specifically how I would want to place them, because some of the other pieces are going to be smaller, and like the glitter, what I would do is I would put it into your hand, and then because you see it's like gold, and so I'm going to just sort of, for time's sake, I'm just going to be kind of fast. I don't want this to have to take forever for you to watch it. Okay, so there, I've just like put it on there. You can take all your time, however you want to arrange all those things, just like that. And then my blue, and you have enough of either one of these colors. If you don't want to do any blue, and you don't want to do, or you don't want to do any gold, you have enough stuff that you can make this work for all of it. I do love like this blue mix because it is just so fun and shimmery. I'm gonna just put some of this on here. Mind you, again, my paint is wet. Don't do that. Dry your paint. I'm just doing this live, and I don't want you guys to have to wait for me to like get my hairdryer out. And okay, so I have it arranged on there. Okay, so got that. So the main part of it all is, and I'm going to get these out of the way because the resin does run over. Whatever's kind of right by this, might have a tendency to get ruined. So the thing about resin is that it has to be very precise and measured correctly and timed correctly to stir it. So I'm going to stay on here this whole 5 minutes. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Probably nothing, but anyway, I am going to get my resin ready because I want you to, and of course this was the one that I did that I was getting ready for myself, and I don't have a mixer in here, mixing stick. This is the other thing you're going to have in there, a foam depressor or a popsicle stick, whatever you want to say it is. This is what you're going to mix your resin with, and this is what you're also going to use to apply your resin. So the resin that you have if you take it home is going to be A and B. A is really liquidy and B is really thick. So A is what's going to go in your cup first. Now I'm not going to use this bottle because these are a pain in the neck to like get ready. So I'm not going to use one of my sets that I've gotten ready because I don't want to have to make another one. So I have just, if you come here, you're going to get Dixie cups of resin. And so the thin runny, which is the hardener, always goes in first. And whenever you do resin, epoxy stuff, you want to get every little last bit out of there. So you are going to scrape your sides, and then you've got your really thick, this is your actual epoxy. And you are going to have too much of this. You will not need all of it, but I just hate for you to not have enough. So I've given you probably 6 ounces. It's like somewhere like really 5 would be perfect, but that's just really hard to measure. So So we have about an ounce. We'll have about an ounce too much. And so you've got it in here. You've got your popsicle stick. And so I'm going to stir it like this. And I'm going to look at my clock. And, excuse me, got a dry throat. So when you start to stir it, you're going to notice that all of a sudden it gets cloudy. And that's okay. That means it's mixed. And then all of a sudden it's going to get clear again. And that's when you know really that it's safe to use it. I have tried a lot of different kinds of resin. This particular resin that we're using here is the one that we use on our charcuterie boards. It's the one that we cover our canvas with, that are the acrylic pours. And it's pretty reliable, and it's also food safe once it's cured. So on the charcuterie boards, if you use this, you can serve food off of it. I always tell people don't cut on the resin charcuterie boards because it does gouge the resin. So, but you can definitely serve food on there. I saw somebody had a waffle charcuterie setup, like a breakfast charcuterie setup, and that was pretty cool. So anyway, and yeah, I think I'll have an example of a charcuterie coming up, just because you can walk in and do charcuterie boards anytime, and it would just be a really great, easy gift to take to Thanksgiving. And yeah, so we have a lot of different sizes of boards, and yeah, a lot of different variety with that. Okay, so our resin has already gotten clear, and we're really only at like 2 minutes. So we're going to keep going, because the worst thing that can happen with resin is you don't mix it all the way long enough, and then it never sets up. So I have several puddles on my floor over there that were really big resin pours that I was doing, and if I just get a big old cup too full of resin, I'm pretty bad about letting it slop over the side. And anyway, if it's fine if it's like totally mixed resin and you spill it, because tomorrow then it'll be like really hard. But I thought those might have been mixed enough, but they were not. They're still like a gooey mess that I have to clean up. But first things first, we'll do these ornaments here first before I clean up any resin. So, I mean, you would really probably be fine. Now I'm going to do 1 more minute just to, you know, I'd rather mix it too much than not enough, because there's nothing you can do about it if you don't mix it long enough. There is just nothing you can do about it. But it seems like the longest, we're only going to do it like 4 minutes, but it seems like an eternity for sure. And then after this part, it's just really, it's just nothing. You're gonna have to wait until the next day whenever you do these. It does take overnight really to cure. Actually, it truly cures in like 72 hours, but it is good enough to be able to touch and move around the next day. I wouldn't advise little kids to be messing with the resin unless everybody has gloves on. It is toxic. I had some leftover resin the other day, and it was maybe like half this much in a cup. And normally I try to have something that I can just use it on. I try not to waste any resin. We were just crazy busy on Sunday. There was nothing I could do with it except let it sit, and it melted the cup. So it gets very, very, very hot. So, all right, I'm throwing my stick. Okay. All right, so we've got it mixed here. So your thing that you really want to do is drizzle your resin over your glass, because you want to really get it in all those nooks and crannies. Like I said, this will be more than enough. Hi, Kim. Everything's probably interesting to you though, Kim, because you've been like, well, maybe nothing is interesting. As much as you've been home and off your feet, you probably are tired of watching about everything. Okay. So you see I'm kind of like spreading it over all of this here. I am not putting it on the top. I'm trying not to put it on the top anyway, because I don't want to get that hole closed up. And it is going to run over the side, and that's totally fine. So I'm going to move on to my, and normally, if you were to just set that wood piece on there and you put this resin over there and you didn't glue it down, it would literally pick up and it would move. So your little glitter pieces are probably going to shift a little bit, but your glass pieces won't. They're heavy enough that they're not gonna move. And so I did these 2 ornaments, and you see, I mean, I hardly used any resin. I mean, in fact, when I finish this video, I'm gonna quickly go do something with this resin, because it's a lot of resin. And you have about, I would say you have about 10 to 15 minutes working time with it before it starts to set up. So when you do finish with it, do not throw this in the trash. Sit it somewhere where it can be fine, where it's got a couple layers of something, because if I set this on a vinyl tablecloth, it melts it. So you can pour it over some newspaper in the trash. You just don't want this much of a chemical reaction happening in a cup in your trash can without you knowing it, because it gets hot that you can't even touch it. So anyway, so we've got these done. When you still have your gloves on, you can pick these up. You want to just rub your fingers as much as you can to get as much of it, as much as the drips off. You are still going to have drips. The thing with resin is it is self-leveling. It's going to keep pushing out, but we can get a lot of this off. And if you have it somewhere where you can kind of keep an eye on it, you'll see how then the drips keep forming again. And you know, I'm sure you want to get these gloves off like as soon as you can, but because you don't want to touch it with bare hands. So, but this will be a great thing to do. It really requires minimal skill, especially with our little wood pieces on there. And we have these kits right by our front register. So we don't have them on our website yet. Hopefully we will. My only concern is shipping. You can always choose pick up for free on there, but I'm really a little concerned about shipping resin with the temperatures doing what they're going to do in the next week. So, but yeah, we just have these right by the register, and they're $30, and it's something that you could, you know, there's 4 of them in there, so you can share it. You can do it with somebody else. You can grab a bunch of them and you can have a girls' night to do those. And I'm going to try to remember, I don't have twine in there to tie them. I'm going to try to get that in there tonight too, so that we have those. So we have these kits ready to go, and we have our Christmas tree. I probably even have one of those sitting around here, but our canvas Christmas tree glass ones, those are ready in a resin kit too. We have different colors. I think the only color we don't have right now is red. So we have gold, silver, blue, pink, and green. In green we have either multicolored, other things, sparkly things with it, or just gold. So yeah, they are ready for you to get. So this is your video to watch when you make your own set. So all right, everybody, have a good night. Maybe.